Hello guys, today it's all about keys and our main focus is control key. Control key has many functions. I want us to run through some of them. I know you know a few, but I want to blast your mind with lots and lots of them. You can replay this in a slower motion so that you get the keys clearly and try them as you pause this video. Feel free, enjoy, and I hope by the end of this lesson you shall have added one or two shortcuts with control to your list. Now, I have lots of combinations, but first let me introduce control key. Control key, first and foremost, is a modifier, meaning you can't get any action by just pressing the control key alone. Nothing will happen. But when you press control and any other key, magic starts happening. For instance, control and C, you copy, control and V, you paste, etc., etc. So we want to see a couple of these combinations that you can use to make your typing faster. Before I go on, let me just bring to you a highlight about quite a number of things here. We are going to talk about all of these keys except two. That is the function key and the asterisk. Function and asterisk. Otherwise, and maybe the num lock. But all the other keys are going to get into our combination with control. Quite amazing. The list is huge. I hope you get one or two out of this and add to your list. And I hope it makes your typing even better. Now, there's some order that we will follow. First, we will talk about combination of control and symbols. Symbols like the full stop, equal sign, apostrophe, tilde. Tilde is that wavy that is just below escape, just this one here. And then we have the backtick. Backtick is the one that looks like apostrophe just below the tab key. Apostrophe, remember, is next to the enter key right there. Above it we have the speech mark, the double speech mark there, and so on and so forth. So we'll do symbols, then we will do alphabet A to Z or A to Z, then we will do control key and numbers 0 to 9. We will then do control and functions F1 to F12. We will do control and windows. Windows is this one here. Windows is that. Then we will do control and shift. These two. Control and alt. Or control and alt. Then we have control, alt, and shift. And then control, alt, shift, and windows. 4 keys plus something else that will make 5 different keys to get one shortcut. Amazing. Then we will do control and delete. We have delete here. Delete. I hope you can see it. Then we will do control and backspace. Backspace is this one here that you use to delete each letter from right to left. You know, delete itself actually eliminates letters from left to right, but backspace deletes from right to left. I hope you know that difference. Then we'll do control and tab, Control and escape. Escape is this one here, ESC. Then we'll do Control and enter. I hope by the end of that you'll have learned. That's quite a big list, you know. Without wasting time, let us get going. First, number 1, Control and tilde. Control and tilde. This one here. It looks like apostrophe. It is above the tab. Control and that will toggle formula view if you are using Excel. Then Control and tilde itself, that is Control and backtick. Now Control and tilde will also do the same thing, just as tilde. So the two keys there, that and that, works the same with the Control key. You press Control and tilde, you get formula in Excel. Control and backtick, that apostrophe there, you also get, you toggle formula view. Try it in your laptop or your desktop and see if it works, if at all it is Windows. All this is about Windows. Number 3, Control and hyphen. Control and hyphen. Where is hyphen? Hyphen is there. Hyphen is there. I hope you can see it there. Control and hyphen. What do you do when you do that? You zoom out. You zoom out. What about Control and equal sign? Control and equal sign, you will be toggling subscript. Example, 5 base 10. So you type 5, and if you want to write base 10, you do Control equal sign. You get the cursor to move just right below 5 so that you can write base 10. Control plus. Control and plus. Plus is somewhere there. Control plus is shared by equal sign, so to get to plus you'll do Control Shift equal sign and you get to plus. If you do that, what are you going to do? You are going to zoom in. It works as the opposite of Control minus. So Control plus is the opposite of Control minus, whereas minus zooms out, plus zooms in. In some laptops or in some applications like for instance docs, what you'll do by that is you'll toggle superscript. That is, you'll put the power or the index or indices somewhere right there at the top, like 2 power 4, which is 16. So you write 2, you key in 2, and then you press Control plus in docs or even Word, and you toggle superscript so that you write your 4, which gives you 16 if you work it out. Now, Control open bracket, the box bracket, what do? Decrease font size of your typeset. Control close bracket, the box bracket. When I say box bracket, this is what I mean. We have this and we have that. If you look at it keenly, you'll see that they are straight, unlike the other one, if you know what I mean. Control semicolon will insert date in Excel. Control semicolon. Yes, that semicolon, just below P in your keyboard. Then we have Ctrl full colon. Ctrl full colon will insert time. So semicolon, date, full colon, time. Next, Ctrl apostrophe. Ctrl apostrophe. That one will copy value from cell above in Excel. So you have, say, 5 in the cell above and you want it below, you just do Ctrl apostrophe, and you copy it from the cell above. Ctrl speech marks is an alternative way of doing the work of Ctrl apostrophe. Just like we saw with tilde and backtick, the same happens with the speech mark and the apostrophe in the same key. So they work the same. If you use Ctrl, you get the same result. Copy value from the cell above. Ctrl and comma. What do? You insert a decimal if you are in Excel, or you punctuate if you are in Docs. Ctrl and comma. Punctuate in Docs or insert a decimal in Excel. Ctrl and full stop. In Docs, what are you going to do with this? You are navigating to the next sentence. But if you're in Excel, you move to the next cell. Works more like pressing the tab key. So Ctrl full stop, move to the next sentence. Ctrl full stop in Excel, move to the next cell. Ctrl forward slash. Forward slash is what you have along with the question mark. So look at your keyboard. The question mark, the neighbor of that one, just below it, is the forward slash. So forward slash and Control key, what will they do? They will show you the keyboard shortcuts. These shortcuts we are talking about, you'll see lots of them if you try that method. Control forward slash. Then the reverse, Control backward slash. Where do we find backward slash? Just below the backspace. Look at the backspace, or above enter. Enter. You'll see a backslash or backward slash. What does it do? It clears the the formatting. So if you had made bold, if you had applied some font color, etc, and you click, you highlight and press click backward slash, it will clear the formatting both in Word and Docs. And that is all I have for symbols. 15 shortcuts if you are counting. Now let us look at some letters. 26 of them. All the letters A to Z are shortcuts with Control. Control A, select all. Many of us know that. So you want to highlight everything in Word, Control A. Control B, you have selected all, so you want to make it bold, Control B. Control C, you will copy whatever you have now made bold, everything. So Control C is copy. Control D, what you're going to do in browser will be opening bookmark, but in Word you will be inviting font settings. So you will see a window with font settings where you can do the font style font size, font color, and so on and so forth. That is Ctrl D in Word, but Ctrl D in browser gives you a different result. It opens bookmarks. Ctrl E in Explorer, you will be searching. Ctrl E in Word, you will be aligning center. So whatever text you have typed, you will see to move to the center of the page if you click Ctrl E after highlighting. Ctrl F, you will find, for instance, in your whole text, you are looking for Tom. So you do Ctrl F, and then you will see a window pop up. Then you can type Tom, you enter, and you will find Tom anywhere in the list. Ctrl G will bring you go to in Word. Works almost the same as Ctrl F. Ctrl H will do replace. That is, it will bring you to empty cells. One, you enter a word you want to replace. The second, you enter a word you want it replaced with. And when you select, it will replace a single one each time, or you can select all so that it replaces all words with whatever you have provided. So Ctrl H, replace. Ctrl I is make italic. So for instance, you have Tom and you want it to be stylized in italics so that there is slant. Just highlight it, Ctrl I, italics. J, Ctrl J, justify word in Word. But in downloads, I mean browser, you will be opening the downloads. You are downloading a movie. You want to see how far has it got, or you want to open it and watch it, the download. So just click on Ctrl J in browser, it opens the downloads. But in Word, you justify text. Ctrl K, insert hyperlink. If you want to insert hyperlink, Ctrl K. Whatever you don't understand in this, please don't try it, because you can mess up the whole thing. I once tried juggling some things and I had to replace my HDD or hard disk drive because I messed up the system. Try to be sure about what you are using or what shortcut you are applying so that you don't get things complicated, especially when we will be looking at IDEs. IDEs are these shortcuts that are used by developers to try to format or edit some softwares for your computer. So if you try them aimlessly, you can get your computer corrupted and messed up, real bird. So be careful. Ctrl L is align left, just like L. We had aligned center by clicking Ctrl E. Now we are aligning left by Ctrl L. In a browser, it works differently. When you click Ctrl L, it will focus address bar. Focus on address bar. Ctrl M, M for mama, or M for Milka, mother, Monica, marvelous, Mary, etc. Ctrl M will indent paragraph in Word. So you want to write those type of letters with the first word in the first line indented. Just go to that word and then at the beginning of it you click on Ctrl M. It will push it a little bit as if you would do it with the tab. But you see, the problem with the tab is sometimes it can move the whole paragraph instead of just moving the line a little bit. So do Ctrl M. Ctrl N will give you a new document or a new window altogether. Ctrl N. So I am typing something, and maybe somebody is coming and I want to cover this up. I can do Ctrl N and a new window will pop up or a new document will come up, and then I pretend I am doing something. Then when this person gets away, I delete this particular window or document, and then I proceed with whatever I was doing. So a new window, just do Ctrl N. Very fast. You get it right. Ctrl O will do open file. Will open file. So for instance, in your desktop you have different files, and you want to open a particular file. Just tap on it. If you don't want to double tap, you can just do Ctrl O and it will open. Ctrl P will print your document. Whether you have opened it or you have not opened it, if you highlight it and click on Ctrl P, you will see the print preview window, and which you can okay and get it printed real fast. Ctrl Q, remove paragraph formatting. Remove paragraph formatting. So if you have a paragraph formatting that you are using in Word, you can remove it by Ctrl Q. Ctrl R aligns right. We have said Ctrl E aligns center. Ctrl L aligns left. That's my left. Ctrl R aligns right. So remember, L left, R right. E for English, or what you call eggs, that would align it center. Now next we have S. After R we have S. Ctrl S, save. In the desktop, when you're typing, you always click on Ctrl S to save, because in the case of blackout and you do not have UPS or apps, you might lose whatever you are typing. But in laptop computers, they use batteries, so you normally know when they are about to go off, so you can wait a little bit and save later. But if you want to save every other bit, just click Ctrl S, save. Ctrl T, that gives you a new tab if you are on browser. So I'm browsing, I've opened maybe news, and I want to open, say, YouTube on another tab. I just click on Ctrl T, another tab pops up. Then I can open YouTube and watch a video, or again I can do Ctrl T, open another tab, and then maybe I launch into Facebook or any other social media app, and Ctrl T. Ctrl U, underline. So whatever you have highlighted, you can underline by clicking Ctrl U. Ctrl V is to paste. If Ctrl C is to copy, Ctrl U would be to paste it elsewhere, whatever you have copied. Ctrl W, close window or tab. So we have opened the several tabs. The first tab was a document, the second tab was YouTube, the third tab was Facebook. I am on that Facebook tab and I'm exhausted, I'm satisfied, I want to close it. So what do? Ctrl W, you'll see it close and you remain with the two. Do another Ctrl W, it closes that one, and so on and so forth. So Ctrl W reverses Ctrl T. Ctrl X cuts. So I have some text in Word and I want to pluck it whole and take it elsewhere. I highlight it and then I click Ctrl X. You'll see it disappear. And when you click somewhere else, Ctrl V, you will be pasting it. But if you click Ctrl C, you'll copy it. You'll leave the original there, take a copy of it, Ctrl V elsewhere, and you paste. As similar copy to what you have back there. Control Y is to redo. This goes hand in hand with Control Z. Control Z is undo. I have typed, say, Toms, and I'm like, that should be cut out. I want to remove that S part. So I can do Control Z and it will undo that S part. But if I feel like Toms is what I really want, I change my mind, I can do Control Y and it will redo that particular change that I effected. So Control Z is undo, Control Y is redo. I'm starting with Z because you do something first, you undo, then you redo. You cannot redo what you have done without having undone it. Okay, so that is A to Z. So far we have covered 15 symbols and 26 letters. We are somewhere in 40s and we are still going on. Now let's look at numbers, shall we? Control 0. Control 0 will reset zoom in docs. So if you had zoomed in or zoomed out and you want it reset back to what it was before you made the changes, just do Control 0. It will give you the default settings. Okay, that is in words, in Word document. But if you are in Excel and you do Control 0, it will do something different. It will hide the selected column. Column is this one that runs top to down, top to down. In geography, you would call them longitudes. Latitudes are the ones that run across, longitudes, top, bottom, or north to south. So if you do Control 0 in Excel and you had selected a column, you will see that column disappear. So if it is column C, you will see A, B, D. So there will be no C. So Control 0 hides columns. Actually, it does not delete, it just hides. But in Word, it will reset zoom to default. Control 1 will give single line spacing. So the spacing will be single line. But Control 1 in Excel will format as number. It will do something different, format as number. Control 2 will do something else in Word. It will give double line spacing. So the spacing in between the lines will be a little bit bigger. Control 2 in Excel will format as time. So whatever number you have, it will change it to look like time. Okay. Control 3 will apply heading 3 in Word. If you open Word document, you'll see different headings. And normally, heading 1 is usually a little bit bold or bigger. Heading 2, a little bit smaller, so on and so forth. So if you do Control 3, it will give you heading 3 in whatever you had highlighted. But in Excel, Control 3 will format as date. So whatever number you have there, it will change it to date. If you had, say, 1,000, it might, 1,100 and whatever, it will change it to look like date. Control 4, what does it do? It applies heading 4 in Word. Control 4 in Excel, what does it do? It formats as currency. It will make it look like dollars or shillings. Yes. Control 5 will give you a line spacing of 1.5 line spacing in that selected text. Ctrl 5 will format as percentage in Excel. So whatever number you have, it will change it to look like a percentage. Ctrl 6 in Word will apply heading 6, but Ctrl 6 in Excel will format as scientific. So you'll see something in standard form, that 1.0 times 10 power. That is Ctrl 6 in Excel. Ctrl 7, 8 and 9 do not really have something specific in Word, but in Excel, Ctrl 7 will show or hide outline symbols. So you click Ctrl 7, it will hide outline symbols. You do Ctrl 7 again, it will show outline symbols. Ctrl 8 will show or hide outline altogether. Ctrl 9 will hide selected rows. Remember, we hide columns by Ctrl 0. Now we are hiding rows by Ctrl 9. Okay, and that marks the end of numbers. Now, so far, what have we covered? We have covered symbols, we have covered alphabet, we have covered numbers. What is next? Function keys. These ones here at the top. Ctrl F1 in many PCs or desktop Windows, of course. What will it do? It will show or hide ribbon. So if you do Ctrl F1, it will show ribbon. Ctrl F1, it will hide that particular ribbon. That is both in Word, in Excel, and in PowerPoint. Ctrl F2, what will it do? It will print preview. It will give you a print preview in Word, in Excel, and in Docs. So what you normally do with Ctrl P, that is what we'll now be doing with Ctrl F2. Ctrl F3, cut to spike in Word, that is on a special clipboard. Ctrl F4 will close active document or window, that is in Office or in Windows. So if you have an active document and you click Ctrl F4, you are going to close it. Okay, I use F4 a lot in closing apps and even documents, and even shutting down the computer. You just click on that F4 until it gives you shut down and you click enter. Okay, so Ctrl F4 will close active Windows or document. Ctrl F5 will restore window size. So for instance, you minimized your window and you want it made larger. Just click Ctrl F5. Ctrl F6 will switch between open windows. You have opened, say, 2 windows. So if you click Ctrl F6, it will jump from this window to the next. Then from that window to the next, if you again click Ctrl F6. Ctrl F7 will move window using keyboard. Ctrl F8 will resize window using the keyboard. Ctrl F9 will insert a field in Windows or in Word actually. Ctrl F10 will maximize window. Ctrl F11 will lock field, and Ctrl F12 will open file. So if you have a file, you can open it with Ctrl F12 in Word. Now we are at 63 so far. We are still moving. Now let's do Control and Window key. Window key is this 4 square right here. Window and D, the three combination will create a new virtual desktop. Control Window and left arrow will switch to the virtual desktop on the left. Control Window right arrow switch to the virtual desktop on the right. Control Window F4 close current virtual desktop. F4, like I told you, it's all about closing things. Control Window Tab, you'll be opening task view or show all desktops and windows. If you click on Control Win Tab, it will show you all that is being operated at that particular time, so that if you want to shut some of them, you can do so. Control Window C, the three combination will toggle color filters. Control Window Enter or Control Win Enter, it will launch narrator or screen reader. Control Window N will open narrator setting. Control Window Escape will open task manager straight away. Control Window Shift B will restart graphics driver, and that marks the end of Control and Window with a third tab. Now let's do Control and Shift, and this is huge. We are now at 74. Control Shift A, select all text in document or toggle all caps in Word. Now select all text that is in Google Docs, toggle all caps that is in Word document. Control Shift B, we are doing the alphabet. Toggle bookmarks bar in Chrome or in Edge. Control Shift C, what are you going to do? Copy formatting, both in Word and documents. Control Shift D, duplicate line or item. Control Shift D. That is both in IDE and Docs. I said IDE is this particular developer's tool. Yeah, so any other normal computer user should not really engage in IDEs. This one is special, but it works also in Docs, so you can, if you are using Docs, you can try it. Control Shift E, if for English, toggle markup or track changes. That is in Word and Docs respectively. Control Shift F, advanced find in Word or search all files, IDE. Control Shift G, word count in Docs or go to previous match in Word. Control Shift F. Remember, Control F was to find. Now search all files in this case. Control Shift G, what are you doing? I've said Control Shift F is advanced find or search all files. Search all files. But Control Shift G is word count or go to previous match. Control Shift H, that is replace all or remove a hyperlink. That is in Word and Doc respectively. Control Shift I, developer tools, Chrome and Edge. Yes. Control Shift J, downloads in Chrome and Edge or console in IDE. Ctrl Shift K, insert link or new task, Docs and Outlook respectively. Ctrl Shift L, bullet list or left line, Word and Docs respectively. Ctrl Shift M, comment or new message, Docs and Outlook. Ctrl Shift N, new folder, incognito window, Explorer and Chrome. Ctrl Shift N, new folder, incognito window, Explorer, Chrome. I think I've said that. Ctrl Shift O, open bookmark manager, Chrome and Edge. Ctrl Shift P, private browsing in Firefox or print preview in Word. Remember, Ctrl P was printing or print preview. Ctrl Shift Q, log out if you're using Chrome OS or Chrome operating system. Ctrl Shift R, hard refresh in Chrome and Edge. Ctrl Shift S, save as. Yes, save as is this one that now brings you the window so you can edit how the file looks like and where you can put a file in the desktop or wherever. Ctrl Shift T, reopen closed tabs. Ctrl Shift U, remember Ctrl T was open another tab, so Ctrl Shift T, reopen closed tab. You closed it and I want it back, so Ctrl Shift T. Ctrl Shift U, underline in Docs, but lowercase in Word. So you want it in lowercase. You want to change the case, Ctrl Shift U is the thing. If you don't want to go to that lowercase icon and tap on it, Ctrl Shift V, paste without formatting, both in Docs and Word and even Chrome. Ctrl Shift W, close all tabs. Yes, we were closing a tab by Ctrl W. Ctrl Shift W now closes every tab. Ctrl Shift X, strike through. So you want your sentence to be stricken through. Ctrl Shift X. Ctrl Shift Y is open research pane in Docs, and Ctrl Shift Z or Z is redo. Redo both in Docs and Word. Remember, Ctrl Z was undo. Now Ctrl Shift Z is redo. Works almost like Ctrl Y. Now we are done with the alphabets, but we are not yet done with Ctrl and Shift. So we continue. Ctrl Shift Escape. Open Task Manager in Windows. Ctrl Shift space, non-breaking space. Ctrl Shift Enter, insert column break. Ctrl Shift arrow, select word depending on where your arrow is pointing at. Ctrl Shift home key, select to end of document. So from where the cursor is, you click Ctrl Shift home, it will select everything up to the end. Up to the start of the document. Home, beginning. Then Ctrl Shift end selects to the end of the document. So if I'm somewhere in the middle and I click Ctrl Shift home, it will select from that particular point. I don't need to scroll upwards. It will select from that point all the way to. But if I want everything below, Ctrl Shift end selects everything from there to the bottom of the document. Ctrl Shift plus. Now let's do some symbols here with Ctrl Shift. Ctrl Shift plus superscript. Ctrl Shift equals superscript also works the same as Ctrl Shift plus. Ctrl Shift minus or Ctrl Shift hyphen, that will give you, will remove the border. If you have put a border in your document and you want it removed with a shortcut, just do Ctrl Shift minus. It will remove the border automatically. You can try it and see. Ctrl Shift open bracket, the box bracket, collapse outline or decrease indent. Ctrl Shift close bracket, box bracket, you increase dent. Ctrl Shift semicolon, insert timestamp. Ctrl Shift apostrophe, insert quotes. Ctrl Shift backtick, you toggle accent. I repeat, backtick is this one here, just above the tab. Ctrl Shift / show keyboard shortcuts, just like in Ctrl /. Ctrl Shift full stop, next sentence or increase font size in Word. Ctrl Shift comma, previous sentence or decrease font size. Ctrl Shift with the functions F1, toggle ribbon visibility. Ctrl Shift F2, print preview. Ctrl Shift F3, repeat last find action. Ctrl Shift 5, bookmark dialog. Ctrl Shift 6, switch between open documents. Ctrl Shift F7, update linked information. Ctrl Shift F8, resize selection using keyboard. Ctrl Shift F9, unlink fields. Ctrl Shift F10, activate menu bar. Ctrl Shift F11, unlock field. Ctrl Shift F12, print document, both in Word and in Excel. That is the end of Ctrl and Shift with a third key, and that takes us to 128 shortcuts. Next, Ctrl Alt, or if you like, Ctrl Alt with a third key. Ready? Ctrl Alt A, select all, just like Ctrl A. Ctrl Alt B or Alt B, bold text. Ctrl Alt C, insert comment. Ctrl Alt D, insert date. Ctrl Alt E, explore. Ctrl Alt F, format options. Ctrl Alt G, go to or do grammar check. G for grammar. Ctrl Alt G. Ctrl Alt H, help. This one works just the same as F1. If you click F1, help. Ctrl Alt H also does the same. Ctrl Alt J, jump to comment. Ctrl Alt K, insert link. Ctrl Alt L, bulleted list. Ctrl Alt M, insert comment. Ctrl Alt N, narrator settings. Ctrl Alt O, outline view. Ctrl Alt P, print preview. Ctrl Alt Q, quick access or logout. Ctrl Alt Q, I repeat, print preview, quick access or logout in Windows, quick access in Chrome OS. Ctrl Alt R, rename in Docs search pane in IDEs. Ctrl Alt S, save in Word. Ctrl Alt T, open terminals. Ctrl Alt U, underline. That is in Docs. But Ctrl Alt U will uppercase in Word. Ctrl Alt V, paste special. This is where now you choose how you want to paste in both Doc and Excel. Ctrl Alt W, close window. Ctrl Alt X, accessibility checker. Ctrl Alt Y, redo in Docs, just like Ctrl Y is redo in Word. Ctrl Alt Z, undo, both Word and Doc, just like Ctrl Z, Ctrl Alt 1, let's do numbers now. Ctrl Alt 1, apply heading 1. Ctrl Alt 2, apply heading 2. You can guess Ctrl Alt 3 all the way to Ctrl Alt 6. Apply the respective headings. Ctrl Alt 7, toggle outline symbols. Ctrl Alt 8, toggle outline V. Ctrl Alt 9, show all formatting marks. And Ctrl Alt 0, reset zoom to default, both browser and Docs. Let's do some symbols now. Ctrl Alt hyphen will insert hyphen or zoom out. Ctrl Alt backtick, toggle formulas. We have done this. Ctrl Alt equals, toggles superscript. Ctrl Alt plus, toggle superscript. Plus superscript, equal subscript. Ctrl Alt box bracket, open, collapse outline. Ctrl Alt box bracket, closed, expand outline. Ctrl Alt semicolon, insert date or time. Ctrl Alt apostrophe, copy cell above. Ctrl Alt comma, insert decimal. Ctrl Alt plus, navigate forward. Ctrl Alt / show keyboard shortcuts. So we've seen show keyboard shortcuts in Ctrl Alt / Control / Control Shift / Control Alt / clear formatting. Now let's do a combination of 3 keys, that is Control, Shift and Alt. Whichever way you press them, just make sure you start with either of the 3. Control, Shift and Alt. Press all those 3 and then A will give you accessibility settings, B will give toggle a bookmark bar, C will do a word count, D will insert date or do debugging, E will explore, F will format options, Control Alt Shift G will do a grammar check or will take you to settings, Control Alt Shift H will toggle help, which you can also get by just doing F1. Then we have Control Alt Shift I will give you feedback in Docs. Control Alt Shift Control Alt Shift J will jump to comment. Control Alt Shift K will insert a link. Control Alt Shift L will give you a bullet list. Control Alt Shift M will insert a comment. You'll get a narrator setting if you do Control Alt Shift P. Control Alt Shift key will give you logout. Ctrl Alt Shift R will give you will rename. Ctrl Alt Shift S will save all. The same thing you can get by just doing Ctrl S. So we have saved in S. Ctrl Alt Shift T will insert a table. Ctrl Alt Shift U will change to uppercase. Ctrl Alt Shift V will paste values. Ctrl Alt Shift W will close window. Closing, we are actually repeating. It's only that we are adding more different combinations. Ctrl Alt Shift X will do accessibility check on Word. Ctrl Alt Shift Y will research pane in docs or scenes in Word. Ctrl Alt Shift Z will redo, and Ctrl Alt Shift 0 will reset layout or resume reset. Ctrl Alt Shift 1, we're now doing numbers. If you've noticed, will expand all sections. Ctrl Alt Shift 2 will expand all sections, while 1 will collapse all sections. Ctrl Alt Shift 3 will show structure. Ctrl Alt Shift 4 will toggle sidebar. Ctrl Alt Shift 5 will toggle preview pane. Ctrl Alt Shift 6 will toggle extensions. Ctrl Alt Shift 7 will toggle source control. All these are in IDEs, so don't mind them that much. These are for software developers like you, if you're one. Ctrl Alt Shift 7 will toggle source control. Ctrl Alt Shift 8 will actually toggle debugger. Ctrl Alt Shift 9 will toggle problem pane. Ctrl Alt Shift backtick will do what we call toggle terminal or developer console, that is still in IDEs. Ctrl Alt Shift hyphen will non-breaking hyphen. Ctrl Alt Shift equal toggle subscript, and plus will do superscript, and open bracket will collapse outline, close bracket will expand outline, semicolon will insert date or time, apostrophe will copy cell above, tab will switch back tab will switch tab backward. Ctrl Alt Shift Enter will insert page break. Ctrl Alt Shift space will give you a non-breaking space, and Ctrl Alt Shift backspace will clear formatting. And that's all about Ctrl Alt Shift with another key. Of course, you can reverse this and also talk about them as Ctrl Shift Alt instead of Ctrl Alt Shift, or you can actually say Shift Alt Control. Whichever way you change them, so long as you start with a modifier key, it will actually give you the right thing. But remember to do all the modifier keys before you press another key, so that it doesn't confuse it for something else. Alright, now next, and we are now in number 225, we're now doing 5 keys as shortcuts. Control, Shift, Alt, Window, and a 5th key. Let's see. First one foremost is Control, Shift, Alt, Win, D. You'll be creating a new virtual desktop if you are multitasking. Control, Shift, Alt, Win, F4. Close current virtual desktop. F4. Whenever you see F4, you know you are closing something. Control Shift Alt Win Left. Switch to left virtual desktop. Control Shift Alt Win Right. With that arrow key, you will be switching to the right virtual desktop. Then with the tab, open task view with full modifier stack. With escape, you will be opening a task manager directly. That is Control Shift Alt Win Escape. those 5, you get the task manager straight away. Ctrl Shift Alt Win Enter, you launch a narrator that has been launched by other different shortcuts. If those ones are simple, use them, avoid this longer one. Ctrl Shift Alt Win and C, toggles color filters. Ctrl Shift Alt Win and N, opens narrator settings. Ctrl Shift Alt Win B, restarts graphics driver for system recoveries if at all you have something like BSD, blue screen of death. If you know, you know. We are about to finish. We are now at number 235 shortcut with Control. Control and delete. How does it work? Now, Control and delete alone deletes word to the right of the cursor. So, if the cursor is here and then there is a word to the right, this is my right actually, it will delete that particular word. Yes, so that's what it does. Control delete. It works quite different with Control and backspace, but we'll talk about it when we get there. Control Alt Delete will open security options like Task Manager or Lock in Windows. Control Shift Delete will clear browsing data like cache. And when I say cache, I don't mean C-A-S-H, I mean C-A-C-H-E, what others call cache or cache. So cache, history, and cookies will be deleted if you do Control Shift Delete. That is, you have gone to a cyber cafe and you have been browsing and you don't want other persons coming and looking at what you are doing. So you do Control Shift Delete to clear the data that you have actually your fingerprints there, so that they don't get your data imprints to follow. Control and backspace, we have reached there now. It works differently as Control Delete. Normally delete will erase from left to right, whereas backspace erases from right to left. So Control Delete deletes the word to the right, and Control Backspace deletes the word to the left. And that one happens both in words, in docs, and with the IDEs. Another space that is backspace. So we only have one backspace and control key combination there. Now let's look at spacebar. So that was backspace here. Backspace here. I don't know whether you can see it. That arrow there next to the plus. Cool. Control spacebar, the longest key on the keyboard. Spacebar. Control spacebar, you select a column or remove formatting in docs. So in an Excel, if the cursor is somewhere on a column and you click Control spacebar, it will select that column. I said columns run from top to bottom, like longitudes or north-south poles. Control Shift spacebar will select a paragraph in words or insert non-breaking space. Control Alt spacebar will access or language switch depending on the OS or operating system, and this one can work both in Windows and Linux. Now 242 shortcuts. We are talking about control and tabs. Tabs, this one here. Tab is the one below the tilde and the backtick and actually above the caps lock. Okay. Control tab will switch to the next tab. Control tab. You remember Control T was opening a tab. Now Control tab will now go to that particular tab. Control Shift tab will switch to the previous tab. So if I go forward by Control tab, I want to go backward by Control Shift tab. Control Alt tab will open persistent task switch in Windows. Let's do escape. The first key on your keyboard is escape. Top left. Top left. That one is the escape key. Control escape opens the start menu. It does the same job, just like pressing the Windows key or Windows key. This one here, when you press it, whatever this one does alone, you can get that by pressing Control and escape. Yes. Then Control Shift and Escape will open Task Manager in Windows. Control Alt Escape or Control Alt Escape will open System Interrupt in OS, mostly with Linux OS. There. Control Alt Shift Escape, those four keys. Control Alt Shift Escape. That one will now do the hotkey, auto hotkey. You remember hotkeys? When you want to toggle hotkeys, just press any of the modifiers 4 times, pop, 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 and you toggle it. But if you don't want to do that, just press all the modifiers and escape. You will now achieve the same thing. 249th shortcut. Control and enter. Are you ready? Control and enter alone will insert a page break in Word. It will submit a form in Docs. It will send a message in browser or email, and it will run a code in IDE. Quite a lot there. Control Shift Enter will insert a column break in Word, will force array formulas in Excel, and will submit with options in browsers. Control Alt Enter will open link in new tab, that is in Chrome or Edge, or will do custom macro in custom setups. I have the bonus. We have hit 251 shortcuts with Control. Clap for me. Now, for the bonus, we are living in a world where technology is taking course. ChatGPT, Copilot, and other AI. Let me give you a shortcut. Have you installed ChatGPT in your laptop or desktop? If you haven't, download them. Once you have installed them, if you want to open them quick and fast with ChatGPT, you just click these 2 keys, Alt and spacebar. First click Alt and then spacebar, and you'll see ChatGPT pop up in your desktop straight away or in your laptop. Now, for Copilot, you'll need first, because Copilot works hand in hand with Edge or Microsoft Edge. So first open Microsoft Edge, and then Microsoft Edge is this blue paint, circular blue paint. Yeah, if you see something like circular blue paint, click on that. Once it opens, do a shortcut with Control Shift full stop. Control Shift full stop. Those three. Or if you like, you can do this far control, but you see you can't stretch, so you'll have the other hand to do Control Shift full stop, and it will open Copilot. You can close Copilot by doing the same combination, Control Shift full stop. So let me repeat: Control Shift full stop, open Copilot in Edge or Microsoft Edge, and Alt spacebar to open ChatGPT. 253 shortcuts, with only one of them not having a control combination. I'll try, if possible, to post these shortcuts in the comment section. If not possible, you may have to watch this video, pause it at some point, and enjoy the shortcuts. Please don't just stick to Ctrl A, Ctrl B, Ctrl C, and Ctrl X and V, because those are the common ones, or Ctrl X, I mean Ctrl Y and Z. No, expand, get to know more of this. Do Ctrl D's, do Ctrl Enter, do Ctrl Delete, and so on and so forth. The more you learn, the better you enjoy learning. And the better you enjoy learning, the more you